I think what you just said is making memories, like being intentional with your time. People could use planners. A lot of people like the physical planners to plan out their days. For me, I use a calendar on my mobile devices,
Hmm.
to track my meetings and, set reminders for me. But then in my planner, my mobile calendar, I have a meeting that says family time, unplug.
Mm.
I literally put that in my phone as a reminder, unplug. Be
Yeah.
with your family because
You are now tuned in.
You are now tuned in to Let's Talk About Healing.
I recognized that I wanted to come out of that deep, dark place I was in.
Like the story that we are repeating over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
We can change it.
Yeah.
I went in with an open mind, an open heart, and I said, you know what? I'm willing to learn the truth about all of this because I don't understand.
Now, here's your host, Yvonne Pierre.
Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About Healing, where I have interesting conversations with various guests on a variety of topics on healing the mind, body, and spirit. Today, I'm looking forward to talking with my guest, Miss Dion Lucas, also known as Lady D on the drums, has been a wellness coach and motivational speaker since 2004. She taught in alternative education for a decade. Music therapy is the key to helping her with work life balance, and she's happy to share tips with us today. Dion, welcome to the show.
thank you. Glad to be here. Thank you so much, Yvonne.
I first I gotta share with you that when I said Lady D on the drums, that I love seeing women play the drums. Drums and
Really?
guitar. I think it's so cool.
Oh,
And well, my son is a drummer. And also I took a drum class when I was little, but I was too impatient. I took piano, drums, and bass guitar, but I was too impatient to really learn the instruments. So, and plus, my instructor was very mean.
oh
She would
no.
hit you if you miss a note.
Oh
So,
no.
yeah, yeah, with a ruler. So that kind of ruined it for me. But I also was impatient. So when she sent me home with the drum pad, in my mind as a kid, I think I was under 10 or around 10. And going home with the drum pad in my mind, I thought I would have a drum set. So just wasn't patient enough to learn, but I wish I would have. So kudos to you for I'm gonna have to see if you have any videos or something.
Oh man. Hey, I started off playing the tambourine and
Mm,
spoons and really got it to where that's one thing you can't teach is rhythm.
yeah.
You got it or you don't. And so my instructor also told me if you don't have a drum set, just use your hands. A lot of people we use their pencils and be tapping in class. Now the teacher will get mad, of course. But then all of a sudden we will tap quietly on our thighs, on our
Yeah.
legs, and just speak to a rhythm, talk
Mm,
to a rhythm, and then write to a rhythm. So a lot of teachers now are having soft music being played while students are working. So it's calming
yeah.
to where some students may have their own headset in listening to music, or if not, electronics away, and the teacher is using the projector.
Yeah.
to share music. However way, it's very soothing. So like whenever we go to a movie theater, you hear music in the background, right?
Hmm.
So you could hear the climax and the transition. When you go to churches, there's soft music being played in the background, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when we having episodes and talking, I'm like, I'm thinking of a song in the back of my head right now, Yvonne.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to a rhythm.
Yeah. 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 It's music is very universal. Before we talk about life work balance and mental health, I wanted to start off talking about you teaching at alternative school. And I just want to share real briefly for those who are new to the show that or new to me that I had a rough upbringing and I eventually got kicked out of high school in 10th grade and was banned from all schools in Gary, Indiana. I was sent to an alternative school. And at that alternative school, that was the beginning of a wake up call for me to get on a different track. But there's also a lot of emotional strife, and for me, I can't speak for all who have attended alternative school, but you have so many people that become a negative voice to you saying, oh, you're never going to be anything. And so I heard it all. I get it now as an adult why people were disappointed in me and they probably thought that those negative comments would inspire me or something, but and don't realize the impact of their words. But I just wanted to share that. But from your experience, I'm really curious from because you have a different angle. You know, I came in as a student, you were a teacher at the alternative school. So I was just curious to know your perspective. How can teachers empower the student to either prevent them from being an alternative student before it gets to that point, or once they're there, how to empower the student?
Yes, ma'am. I believe, based on your testimony, there's a lot of people that believe in this reverse psychology. They
Mm,
think by speaking negative thoughts that it will inspire them to prove them wrong and stuff. I'm like, well, no. I mean, negativity just add fire to the log. I mean, you're gonna like force them down the wrong path even further.
yeah,
And I saw, oh my gosh, this inspirational quote that were saying that, if speaking positive to plants or other like living organism help them grow and develop,
mm,
how can positivity also affect human beings in a
yeah,
powerful way? And so you mentioned how your music teacher, if you miss a note, they smacked your hand with a ruler. I'm like, oh my gosh.
yeah,
You think about student athletes, coaches cussing you out if you miss a play or something like that. I'm like, it's just a game, dude. I'm like,
yeah,
but I think in the environment to where being in a K through 12 setting, it's very critical to plant seeds of knowledge and affirmation in kids while they're growing up. And I believe we were just sharing a while back how a lot of kids in alternative settings, their home life and their physical
yeah,
environment is not traditional. It's not supportive. It's like,
right,
they literally taking on adult responsibilities at an early age,
yeah,
and it's like we trying to help them where they are, but that empathy gap is just knowing that you're not there to command them or to like light a fire in a negative way. You're
yeah,
just letting I'm here for you. Just being there present. And so when I taught alternative education for about 10 years, a decade,
Yeah.
And I didn't call them at risk. I used like at possibility. In fact, I call them diamonds in the rough.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are a hidden gem. And look at you now, Yvonne. I mean, your story here, you now, holding this podcast over healing. You are a famous writer, producer, and advocate of just health, well-being all around, and you are like a poster child, really, for
Thank you.
alternative kids.
And I
And
received that, the
mhm,
famous writer part. I'm gonna
yeah.
receive that.
Yes, but I think going back, we were talking about the healing process of music therapy. So when I was teaching a turn of high school,
Mhm.
helping kids to graduate on time, there was this kid. His name was Freeman, and that he was a diamond in the rough. He was a hidden gem, and just knowing that he loves hip hop and music. So, all right, let me teach you some math jingles
Yeah.
and a rhythm
Yeah.
for you to know the quadratic formula, the midpoint, the distance formula, the keep change flip, all that.
Mm.
We could do it in a rhythm to help you.
Yeah.
And so he was so inspired by that. He said, okay, Mrs. Lucas, let's see, let me help us write our school alma mater. I'm like, really? You gonna do that? That's okay. So he actually ended up writing a poem, and he spoke it as a rap song at our school assembly. When you have like homecoming events and pep rallies. And I'm like, this is so awesome. And you know what? That just planted seed. He went on with his music career, doing great things and serving his homeland back in Africa as well. I'm like,
Wow.
wow. I mean, seriously, but it's like planting that seed that, wow, you did that. So I just we just took some of his lyrics, and we were able to create a traditional alma mater, like more of a classic tone,
Yeah.
um, to where we were saying it was Liberty Academy, a place where we can be free, a place where we grown from our past. There's victory at last. We're climbing high, we escalate. Our future is taking form. We're reaching heights. There's heights unknown. The phoenix has been reborn. So that was our
Wow.
mascot, the phoenix. You
Wow.
you could change into anything you want.
Yeah.
So you have a negative past. Who doesn't? I mean, but some are more traumatic than others. But you could change your future ahead of you. You could be that phoenix and just fly like the eagle. Just be reborn. So I was truly blessed to have this year's Kansas City Best Gospel Artist, Cammie Woodard, to
Mm.
perform our alma mater. Oh gosh, I think it was back in 2014. It was almost 10 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
And so if you YouTube it, Liberty Academy alma mater, you hear her voice singing it, and the producer, one of the songwriters, Timothy Bailey, helped choreograph that, strings and instrument lyrics all together, and it was a beautiful piece. And so I'm just thankful that legacy that the student had, inspired to us to make that school song, and so it's just awesome. But yeah, going back
Yeah.
to the healing part, the music therapy, the positive affirmations, it does wonders to like you plant the seed and you can bloom where you plant it. Yeah.
A previous guest suggested that I read the book A Man's Search for Meaning. Really, that's what I hear in this story, that you gave that student some meaning. And the key to the importance of feeling needed and necessary really will change and shift the mindset of someone into a different direction. I'll say from my experience, me finding meaning and purpose for my life is what took me from being fighting and being angry and mad at the world. And once I found some hope, just a glimpse of hope, it started to slowly change my perspective on not just life, but my life.
Mhm.
And so I want to thank you for what the seeds that you're planting in these students because it's so necessary. It's so needed and is not done enough. And the most important thing was for that student to see, to have some meaning for their life, some purpose for their life. And you were able to help highlight that in that student's life. And not only help them with that, but to take the music to another level where others can hear his words,
Mm.
probably helped turn his whole life into a different direction.
And that's the thing. I think being a teacher, we only have our students for about 9 months.
Mm. Yeah,
And so you just don't know the impact until years later, until they walk across that stage or you see them in the community or but just to know that you just I guess it's just I'm just happy our lives cross paths.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
some people are in your life for a long term, some people are in there for a short term, and just thankful for that experience, for that connection, and to know that hey, you know, you pay it forward. You know, you bless me, I bless you. Go ahead and bless someone else. If you want to go into teaching, music, coaching, entrepreneur, do that. And as what you said, sis, mentorship. You know, a lot of alternative settings are going to where they're having hands-on training to help them cope with life. You said give them hope. Like I mean, sometimes if they see someone doing it, they're like, "Oh, I could do that too." That hands-on experience. And so, Yvonne, I hope you go back and mentor a alternative school, or you go back to your alma mater as well. But
I'm
just
definitely interested in working with I'm definitely interested. I don't think my school is still open anymore, but I have been reaching out to the local schools here. I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, but I'm here in Metro Atlanta. So I've been reaching out to the schools here in the Metro Atlanta area, specifically the alternative schools, to see how I can be of service and a mentor for these students, and just see if I can create programs or whatever the case is. I don't know how God is going to lead me, but right now he's leading me towards working with the students, but I'm not sure to what capacity yet.
well,
But
sure.
yeah, right
That's all.
now I am in school to learn a little more about advocacy. I'm getting my PhD in human services. I've been doing advocacy since around the same time, since '04, '05, but it's been more so dealing with Down syndrome because I have my
Mhm.
youngest of two has Down syndrome. So I've been very involved in the advocacy world. So, but I'm expanding that to focus on the youth and especially students that are in alternative schools. So yeah,
That's awesome. Well, we need you. We appreciate you, either with the group home or going into alternative. It could be in person or virtual, online,
mm,
any type of resources, because kids need help and support in any shape, form, or fashion.
yeah, definitely. So I want to talk about balance. And I think even with dealing with being an alternative student in life, no matter what your path is, life is really centered around balance. What does the word balance mean to you?
To me, balance is where every human has 24 hours in a day. So we got 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work or being in school. And then the last 8 hours, either you're sharpening your skills, doing a hobby, picking up a part time job, and just enjoying life to begin it all over again the next day.
Yeah,
So I'm very cautious not to overfill my plate because I think that's lead to burnout when
yeah,
I'm overly busy all the time. It's like I'm not smelling the roses. I'm like I'm just driving right by it. I don't,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it just feel like Groundhog's Day. It's another day. I'm like, what day is it? What happened? And so really just like you were talking about the school, and I was interested in going back to school, but I told my academic advisor, not at this time. I
yeah,
will apply, but hold my application till next summer. Because
yeah.
from in my life right now, I got a lot of activities happening with church, a new school district that I'm a part of, a lot of things happening with my family in their transition, in and out of hospitals. And so
Mm.
there's a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah, yeah,
and and I know school will always be there. That's the thing. It will always be there.
yeah,
And I just gotta definitely put my family first. You talk about balancing, making sure my own self care that I'm getting proper rest. This is a healing episode. So when you get a good night's rest, you can think clearly the next day. So I'm
yeah,
balancing, making sure that I unplug from social media and the world, turn off my phone, and go to sleep. Because my family know if my phone is off, you dial 911 if it's an emergency. If my phone is off, you dial or text 988, to connect to a free crisis counselor. That's the mental health. They know it. My phone is off. You
yes.
don't bother me.
Wow, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like I have to
You gotta
force
set
people.
boundaries,
I have to
yeah.
force people. You don't call me during this time. My phone is you down
So
911.
balance is boundaries, huh? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Balance is boundaries. That's right. Mm.
Wow. So what does an unhealthy work-life balance look like?
Oh gosh, unhealthy work-life balance is where if we're on the computer, we're on our mobile devices, it's where we're on it 24/7. Like if it's a family meal or family dinner, I mean, it just breaks my heart. People are eating and they're on their phones and not having a conversation. It's like they're communicating on their phones. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a vacation. And I like a commercial where this parent forced every family member, we're on vacation. They put it in the shoebox.
Mm,
Let's be where our feet are. Let's be in the moment. So sometimes when it's unhealthy, is that you think you're available 24/7. and and I respect people in the health profession or 911 or crisis calls. They have to be active all the time, but here's the thing, not no one person is covering a 24-hour shift.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have a rotation of workers. So it opened up my eyes in the education profession that this task here, I don't have to send out an email or something after 9 o'clock or after 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I could schedule that email to go out the next morning. I mean, or I could wait to respond
Yeah.
the next day. So, delay don't mean denial. I tell
Right.
people, if you don't get a response from me within 24, 48 hours, knowing that I received it, I will get to you as soon as possible. But I think, going back to your question, what's unhealthy is where you're a workaholic. You're a
Mm,
workaholic. You're constantly working, and the only time you get rest is if you're in a hospital and just
mm,
everything is away from you. No, 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 no. It could wait. It could wait. You could be with your family. You could unplug. And I had to make that change. I had to make that change because this is a healing episode, and sometimes when you're too busy, you're like Superwoman,
yeah.
Superman.
Yeah.
That's a red flag right there, because for the mental health, they call that being hypomanic or going through
Mm,
mania, where you thinking that you could do anything. You could set your mind to, no, I'm not a machine. I'm not a robot. No.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
that balance and boundary. So, what I said for that boundary, I had to unplug. I literally had to turn off my computer, turn off my phone, and then be where my feet are, and then just pick up a book, flip through the pages, actually enjoy a movie with my spouse,
Yeah.
just be where my feet
Yeah. Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
And I will say that I have been guilty of having an unhealthy work life balance because I was a workaholic and it was bad. Like everything revolved around, I couldn't shut it off. I felt like I couldn't shut it off. I was constantly checking my emails. I was constantly, if I sit down, I'm on my computer because I what didn't feel like I was in the position to turn it off because I wasn't financially or anything in a position that I felt like I should have been in as far as my business. So, and I didn't know. I didn't know how to balance it. I didn't know how to run a business. First of all, there was a lot of things that I was learning the hard way. So, I was constantly, even when I wasn't working on a project, I was trying to research, or I was, studying, or I was constantly doing something, keeping myself busy. And I'm sure it got on, well, I know it got on my husband's nerves too, because he would say, "Can you put your phone down?" Or if we watching a movie, I'm falling asleep because I'm tired from constantly being busy. So I've learned now in the past several years to be a little more balanced with it. But I also realized that balance is also is going to tilt one way or the other. It's not going to be 100% balanced. So when you're with your family, you're with your family.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on vacation, you're on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
And I just really had to not be so hard on myself when it came to business. But I realized too, I went from one extreme to another when I was like, okay, let me pull back. And I pulled back way too much where I started feeling lazy because I wasn't doing anything. I was really honed in on family, and it tilted completely to the opposite side. And I was like, okay, I have to figure this thing out because I can't abandon the things that I want to work on, and I can't abandon, well, I wasn't abandoning my family, but I was constantly working. So now I'm intentional about creating memories and time and spending time together. The thing that really made it real for me is when I got sick and I had my heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
And laying in the hospital in the ICU, not knowing what was going to happen, was a wake up call for me to find balance. And it made me realize that I wasn't, I was spending more time on business than creating memories. And I was like, this is not how I want my kids to remember me, is always working. I want them to remember the memories that we create. So I started intentionally creating. We would, like, this a couple of weeks ago, we went skydiving, me and my
Oh
husband.
wow. Indoor, outdoor.
We did both. We did indoor as a family maybe
Mhm.
last year, but me and my
Mhm.
husband did outdoor a couple of
Wow.
weeks ago.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We literally jumped out of a plane.
Woo.
Um so but that was something I've always wanted to do. So I've been very intentional about checking stuff off of my list, of stuff that I want to do. Like, we went horseback riding as a family. It was all of our first time. And
Wow.
so, yeah. So it's been really important that we create those memories. So I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in. So what are some ways we can improve our work life balance?
I think what you just said is making memories, like being intentional with your time. People could use planners. A lot of people like the physical planners to plan out their days. For me, I use a calendar on my mobile devices,
Mhm.
to track my meetings and, set reminders for me. But then in my planner, my mobile calendar, I have a meeting that says family time, unplug.
Mm.
I literally put that in my phone as a reminder, unplug. Be with
Yeah.
your family, because if I see it as reminder, like, people use that reminder to, like, to take their vitamins or medicines. I'm
Yeah.
like, let me set a reminder to have that quality time. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's
That's
not
good.
it's not to where you want to be spontaneous, do things the last minute, but it's like it's being intentional that, if because I'm like the same way. I could get into a workaholic phase where I'm constantly working, grading papers, planning on this, doing graduate school, being involved in church. And before you know it, days become nights, nights become days. And in the wintertime, it all looks black outside, but,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
but it's to the point where I'm intentional saying, no, I'm taking this time, to just to unplug and to vacate. And I saw this quote that creative people needs time to do nothing. So when you said you felt selfish that you were spending all this time, that allowed you, the time away from work allowed you to be creative, to think of, like, oh, I could do this differently. Oh, I could do that. So
That's true.
um
Yeah.
so to help me to unplug, I journal. I do
Mm.
journal. It's like a little
Yeah.
short little thing. So therefore, I could put it down. So when I unplug, I know, okay, I could come back to it and pick it up later, to a to
Yeah.
do task. But I don't,
Yeah.
I just get it out of my head. Bam, I'll worry about you later.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
prioritize, what's more important, what come, but then it's on my to-do list. I'll get to you, soon, but see what's more important. But literally, unplugging, put on that calendar reminder and that planner, family time, find a hobby, if you like dancing, you did skydiving, you did horseback riding,
Yeah.
you, I mean, sometimes you got to look ahead on the organizer schedule to see, oh, when do they have openings for us to do it? I mean, Fall Fest is coming up. Football season's here. Basketball season's going to start soon. Like, what are some family gatherings we could do to support? I mean, so you do a little bit of planning, just get a head start, but definitely each day carving out some time to just a couple hours, watch a movie, unplug, just,
Yeah.
be where your feet are. So it just, yeah, it takes. Little things. Little becomes much when you place it in the master's hand. So just a little bit of just that really helped me. That little bit of just setting a reminder in my planner, mobile device, saying just unplug. Just
That is, I love that you do that because we do that with everything else. And you said a key thing is prioritizing. It's making it a priority. Everything else that we prioritize is in our planner. And that's very key. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you said that.
mhm. And I'm thankful
So,
for technology. I mean, that reminder, ding, ding, ding. Oh, thank you. I need
yeah,
because sometimes I back in the day we grew up with physical planners, and some people do, but
I
I need
still
that
have
ding.
mine. I have both. I
I
have
need
both.
that ding. I need so therefore you get a reminder. I can snooze. Okay, just remind me again.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I have both. I have to, it's for some reason, once I write it down,
Yeah, it's
it's stuck
intentional.
in my mind.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
intentional. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So how does balance tie into mental health?
uh, it's it's that self care priority. Only we're in the driver's seats of our own life.
Yeah.
What path we want. Um, and so part of that self care, self love is knowing that, hey, it's making a decision. I believe that's the first step.
Mm,
Knowing that in our recovery is to be open that, you know, it's a new day. I'm going to maintain good habits. I'm going to stop, take a step back, observe, proceed, and set some healthy boundaries. Because I had to realize I might be busy, busy, go get it, organized and everything, but not everyone's like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Why am I getting upset with someone who is not as organized as me? Why am I
Right.
getting upset with someone who doesn't think of this as a priority? Because it's not a priority to them, but it's priority to me. I had to realize that, oh, what's important to me is not important to you. That's okay. I'll be you, boo boo. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's just really
Yeah.
people have different and that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it. I mean,
Yeah.
your spouse, you got a man cave, a woman cave. So for me, the music therapy for my healing, I would jam out on my drum pad and stuff.
Yeah.
For my husband, his relaxation is to play solitaire, all those games on his phone. That's his thing. I just,
Yeah.
but that self-care and being intentional and then I also feel that it is good to talk to someone.
Yeah.
It really is good to talk to someone. I think we're so into texting and blogging and emails, but sometimes I will pick up a phone and leave a voicemail. I want you to hear the sincerity of my voice.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I would do like a FaceTime or video conference.
Yeah.
I want to see you. And
Yeah.
that's why since the pandemic,
Connection.
yeah, that's why
Connection.
since the
Yeah.
pandemic, many doctor's office and clinics are allowing people to come back in person because they want to see you.
Yeah.
They want to make sure, are you well? I mean, have you gained weight? Have you lost weight? How's your stress level and stuff like? I mean,
Yeah.
just you know, and it's kind of hard to see it in just a computer screen because on a computer screen they don't see you from the top up and you only can say what you want to say, but
Right.
they may not see you tapping your feet underneath the desk
Right.
or
Right.
fidgeting and all that stuff like that, so they got to see you like, how are you?
Yeah.
So for me, for that mental health, if we're checking in with our doctors, once a year, for around your birthday or every quarter or so, just do it physically, for flu season or for anything like that. Just get a mental health checkup, making sure you're checking in either with a counselor
Yeah.
or doctor, making sure that you're okay. Because
Yeah.
certain things that affect me, I can't talk it to my husband. You know what I
Right.
mean? I need I need.
He's
I don't
not
think.
your therapist. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think like a man. I mean, there's a book out there by Steve Harvey said, "Act like a woman, think like a man." I'm not a man.
Right.
I love the book. A great movie too. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah, but I get it.
it's
Yeah.
just literally like literally pick up the phone and talk, and we just want to make sure as a human being we care about you for a human being. So that self care, caring for others, and then giving people their space. I don't micromanage other people because I don't like to be micromanaged. What's that golden rule? Do unto others as you want to be done unto you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna micromanage you because I don't want to be micromanaged. But
Right.
if you feel like you have to micromanage me, that's fine. Because maybe you like to be micromanaged yourself. Just
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
I have to realize that. Okay,
You got
that's
trust
fine.
issues. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's why I turn off my phone. I like you find
Yeah.
someone else. But no, I think going with that self-care again in this healing episode, it's really healing from within, just knowing
Yeah.
it talk to someone and see someone else's point of view, and to realize that not everyone may support you because the vision came to you. Like Yvonne, you said your testimony, you're like no one was inspiring you when you were growing up. So that vision came from within, to where that you had to bloom, and then you're able to pay it forward to someone else, to your children and your spouse and everything, and then you're going back to do other things. But it's like I think we get upset why people rain on our parades. Now, what I mean by that is like maybe you share your goals with someone else, and they say, "Oh, you can't do that." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like it's disheartening. It's
Yeah.
like, wow, I thought you would support me on this, but you're not. And I
And I
think.
want to I want to say,
Hmm.
that although I didn't have a lot of support, but I have to mention that there were certain people in my life that were supportive and that did believe in me, that planted seeds in me, even though the seed might have just simply been, Yvonne, I believe in you.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I believe in you. You're gonna do great. Once I decided to go to college, I did have people say, "You
Hmm.
can do this. You got this," and I needed that because it was so hard. But I also had to learn how to cheer for myself and how to encourage myself, and I think that's really, really important because there are a lot of people that have nobody.
Mm.
They may be in foster care or something like that, and they don't have anybody, or they may just have one person to walk past and said something to them that planted a seed. But learning how to build on that for yourself, encourage yourself, and to be your own source of inspiration is really, really important for the times when you'd have nobody. Because there have been times that I felt like it was just me, but you have to get to that place that you do flip the negative stuff. I did get to a place where I flipped the negative stuff, and used it to inspire me because there was something in me that was like, this is not the end. And
Hmm.
we got to figure this thing out. We got to figure out how we can push through. So I used whatever I had to
Hmm.
to be my source of inspiration. I used the fact that I was failing. When I went to college, I tried to take the test and I failed the basic entrance exam, and I was devastated. But I also used that as, okay, this is it for failing. I will not continue to fail. And I went to the registrar and I asked her, can you show me what I need to study so I can come back? And because you have to wait a month to come back. So
Hmm.
I said, show me what I need to study. And I went to my mom and I got books and I needed help because I struggled with reading, and that was the area that I failed the most. So but I said, how do I get better? And I start asking people. I asked the admissions person, went in her office and just started crying. And she was like, what's wrong? And I said, I'm struggling with reading. And I have to take a spelling test to graduate.
Mhm. Mhm.
And she said, read everything. Everything you get your hands on, read it. So I had a dictionary. I had all kind of stuff. I would ask people, okay, how do you pronounce this, or how do you pronounce that? And I started studying and studying and studying. I stopped partying. I stopped getting high. I stopped going out. I stopped doing all the things that would prevent me from being better. And it wasn't easy, but going back to what you were saying earlier, planting that positive seed, having meaning, like when you help that student, having feeling like you're necessary and that you're needed, and having some meaning for your life will push you beyond what seems to be limitations. So I just wanted to share that to encourage someone who may feel like, man, I'm struggling with reading, I'm struggling with that. I want to accomplish this, but I'm not in a place where I can do, they may feel like they can't do good in that area because of what they may see as limitations. And I'm just want to encourage them that you can push beyond that.
Yes, ma'am. Prune to bloom. Yeah, to trim off.
Yeah.
Trim off. Yeah, for future growth. That's awesome. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that testimony. That's awesome.
Yeah. So before we leave, what message of hope do you want to leave with us?
My message of hope is to, be yourself. Find what makes you happy, and that self reflection each day. And I get it. Sometimes in our lives that we may be in a position where you have to do things to financially support your family that may not be your purpose. Maybe your purpose might be in volunteering or giving back or tutoring or something. But keep hope alive, but balancing that day so that way you could carve out the things that make you happy. Just be you, find what drives you. And that's what you said, Yvonne. You had to prune off to cut out some things, in order for you to bloom where you're planted. But, reflect, journal a little bit, make a vision board, to keep hope alive. Make that vision board. See yourself. See what, like, either your past accomplishments or motivation or family pictures or pictures of yourself or some type of school you want to go to or whatever, something that you did off your bucket list. I mean, just put on that vision board the thing like, yeah, I did that. We did something. And that vision board could be a visual aid, either your mobile device, but that's going to keep that hope alive that, we're enjoying life. Be where your feet are, unplug, spend some time, smell the roses, and just keep blooming where you planted.
Wow. Okay. So how can people get in touch with you?
Sure. Yes. Mrs. Dion Lucas, that's MRSDionLucas.com. Mrs.
Awesome.
DionLucas.com.
Awesome. And do you have on the website your links to?
Yes, there's links that you could contact me via email, and also links for you to connect with me on social media as well. And you can check out some of the books and music that
Oh,
I've
cool.
written as well on the website. So yeah, this little digital portfolio on the website. That's all it is. Yeah, there's things on music therapy, water therapy, flush and forgive. We
Mm,
all use the restroom every day, so that's a way of detoxing physically, emotionally. Just
yeah.
flush and forgive and go with the flow. Yeah,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a deep message.
Oh
Flush and
yeah,
forgive.
you got to flush
Flush
and
it all
forgive.
out.
It's a
Yeah.
daily flush over and over again.
Yeah.
Every day, every day. Physically and mentally, emotionally. Yes, do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy to connect. And thank you again, Yvonne, for this opportunity to be on this healing podcast, just talk about work life balance and ways we could incorporate music therapy on our jobs and to be planted and be where our feet are to enjoy time with our family and setting memories. So I really
Yeah.
do appreciate you having this platform, and it really encouraged me, and hearing your testimony really inspired me to go forward. And I wish you all the best going into graduate school and completing your doctorate degree in human services.
Thank
Yes,
you. Yeah, I'm almost done.
congrats. That's all right. This
Yeah.
enjoy the journey. Not so
Yeah.
much the destination, but enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so
Congratulations.
much. I
Mhm.
appreciate that, and I wish you all the best too. Well, Miss Dion Lucas, thank you so, so much. I really enjoyed this conversation, and congratulations on your books and everything that you've accomplished. And again, thank you for your contribution in the alternative school community. Is really needed and necessary, and especially being a light in that community. It means a lot more than you know, and I'm sure you've touched more lives than you'll probably ever know.
Likewise, ma'am. And yes, I'm gonna send a little love token to bless your this organization too. I mean, you keep up the great work. We really do appreciate you. I mean, you get this podcast reaching wonders, and so thank you for all that you do, Yvonne.
Oh,
Thank
thank you. Thank you. I
you. Mhm.
appreciate that. And to our listeners, thank you for taking time out of your day to tune in. I hope that you are able to get something from each and every episode. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, comment, and share. You owe it to yourself to heal and grow on purpose. Until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About Healing with Yvonne Pierre. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share.